I'm Scott Logan, the CMO at AmplifAI, and welcome to this session of the AI for CX Virtual Summit, where we bring to you the latest insights and best practices around AI and the customer experience. Quick word from our sponsor, AmplifAI. We unify all your data in structured and unstructured, from voicemail to email, virtual agents, social, internal systems, you name it, all into one single view of performance. With this one view of your data, AmplifAI delivers role-specific insights and AI-recommended best actions to increase agent performance and coaching. Our comprehensive CX suite includes everything from auto QA to AI-powered coaching and gamification. Last line, over 10,000 teams worldwide use AmplifAI to boost productivity, improve customer experience, and drive better results in sales, support, collections, and beyond. So, before we get started, let's go over some event details. This is recorded, and we'll provide a link to the landing page with the recording, slides, materials in the days following the webinar. And for the session, we'll hold your questions to the end, but please chat them in along the way as you think of them so you don't forget them, and we'll go ahead and get them addressed. So, let's get started. This session is one of the title sessions on this first day, how AI is revolutionizing CX. And we are thrilled to have Dan Gingiss here joining us for this presentation and presenting some new visions of what CX can be. Dan has spent 20 years in marketing and customer experience leadership roles at companies like McDonald's, Discover, which recently got acquired by Capital One, actually, and Humana. He's been named one of the world's top 30 customer experience professionals by Global Gurus, and his book, The Experience Maker, ranks among the Book Authority's top customer experience books of all time. That's pretty cool. Fun facts, here we go. Licensed bartender, cool. Pinball wizard, awesome. And a lover of rescue pets, but also once delivered a pizza to Michael Jordan. Now, living in Salt Lake City, didn't grow up here, but I hear the stories of the NBA Finals where potentially a food poisoned pizza was delivered to Jordan, and he still beat the Jazz, which I was a Bulls fan, so I was like, maybe a shady way to go about that game. But what's your pizza delivery to Michael Jordan story?
I can assure you
You're
it was
not that guy, I hope.
no, I can assure you it was not that pizza for
Okay.
sure. But actually, he ordered from Domino's all the time, and he ordered pepperoni and sausage for those that were curious. And I did get to deliver it to him once. He opened the door, and man, is he tall. That was the first thing. But it was actually a very early customer service lesson for me because the first thing I noticed was that he looked over my head to see if anybody else was out there, any paparazzi or anything else. And I realized at that moment that he deserved some privacy when ordering a pizza. So even though the drivers told me I could ask for an autograph and not get a tip, it was one or the other. I decided to take the tip instead of the autograph. I still think that was a good idea. He was a good tipper, and I got the story all these years later.
That's amazing. Very cool. Excuse me. So with that, we'll go on to less interesting conversation. I'm just kidding. To very much more interesting conversation with your presentation about AI and CX. So take it away.
All right, let's do it.
Hi, I'm Dan Gingiss, the Experience Maker. I spent 20 years as a marketing and customer experience leader at companies like McDonald's, Discover, and Humana. I was named one of the world's top 30 customer experience professionals by Global Gurus, and my most recent book was ranked on Book Authority's top customer experience books of all time. I'm also a licensed bartender, a pinball wizard, and a lover of rescue dogs and cats. Oh, and I once delivered a pizza to Michael Jordan, so feel free to ask me about that later. Please welcome to the stage, me.
Wait, who authorized this? I'm the real Dan Gingiss.
Oh, come on, I'm practically indistinguishable.
Indistinguishable, nice jacket, but you're an AI avatar. I'm a human. Can you do this?
You are the experience maker, yes, it's true.
No, but I can do this. Esta presentación va a ser increíble.
Show off.
This is not just another AI speech.
Obviously, since you're here, look, everyone's talking about AI, but we can't lose sight of the customer impact of it all. So we're going to look at 4 use cases that directly impact the customer experience.
Au revoir.
All right, AI Dan, time to wrap it up.
All right, that was dramatic, and I am the real Dan Gingiss, as you can tell from the purple jacket instead of the blue jacket. It is really I here to talk with you today. And what was it we're talking about? Ah, yes, how AI is revolutionizing customer experience. And it is going to be a lot of fun here today. This is part of becoming what I call the experience maker. And it's not just a brand name. It is something that I try to instill in all the audiences and companies that I speak to, is that every single employee has the chance to be an experience maker. What is an experience maker? It's somebody that always puts the customer first. We make business decisions through the lens of the customer, which ends up making better business decisions. And so as we think about AI, we need to think about it from an experience maker perspective. It's about enhancing the experience. It's about making things better for our customers. Let's not take the shortcuts to just make things easier for us because our customers may not be ready for it and they may not want it. All right, why don't we get started by taking a quick journey through the evolution of AI in customer experience. I built a little timeline here with some key milestones that have brought us to where we are today. It all started in the 1950s when Alan Turing introduced the concept of a machine that could simulate human intelligence. Now, he created the Turing test to compare a machine's intelligent responses to those of a human. We jumped to the 60s, and a professor at MIT developed ELIZA, a simple natural language processing program that could mimic human conversation, even though at that point it couldn't comprehend it. In the 70s and 80s, we saw the rise of expert systems, which began to mimic decision-making processes in fields such as finance and healthcare. Now, expert systems contained both a knowledge base of facts and rules and an inference engine that applied the knowledge base to new situations. Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Now, 1997 was a landmark year when IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov and officially put humans on notice. One of my favorites was in 2011 when IBM Watson made headlines by winning Jeopardy against the game's greatest champions. Watson's advanced natural language processing and information retrieval capabilities were on full display. Now imagine a contact center agent with Watson by their side. Suddenly, they know the answer to almost any question. To be fair, if we're following Jeopardy rules, they would know the question to any answer, but you get my point. Now that agent doesn't have to stress over finding the right answer and can instead focus on being human. You know, the thing that humans are best at. Now, just a year later in 2012, a neural network called AlexNet demonstrated that AI could be used for image and speech recognition. And in 2016, Google DeepMind's AlphaGo defeated world champion Lee Sedol in the complex game of Go, demonstrating AI's ability to tackle highly strategic and complex tasks. So we know AI is good at playing games, what with chess and Jeopardy and Go. But what's next? Everything changed in 2022 when OpenAI released GPT to the public, showcasing the power of generative AI. ChatGPT and its competitors can generate human-like text based on the prompts given, revolutionizing everything from customer service to content creation and many other fields. Today, AI is integrated into our daily lives in countless ways, from virtual assistants to personalized recommendations to predictive analytics, and of course, those generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and more. The possibilities are truly endless. Now, understanding this evolution helps us appreciate how far we've come and the immense potential that AI holds for transforming customer experience. Now we're going to dive into some real-world examples of AI in action. I've categorized these into 4 different categories of ways that I'm seeing AI impact customer experience today. Now, there are certainly more than these 4 ways, but I thought that these were 4 great ones to talk about today. The first is personalization. And I don't just mean where I log into my website and it says, "Good morning, Dan." Hyper personalization, where we start to get to know every single customer on an individual basis. We understand their preferences, we understand their history, and we can provide a unique experience to them. Then there's predictive analytics. This is where we're taking all of the big data that we have. I have not met a company yet that has said they have too little data. Most of the problem is we have too much data and we don't know what to do with it. And predictive analytics is using AI to help us take all of that data and actually start to predict what customers are going to do next or what they need next from us. Then there's virtual reality, which of course is a fun part of AI. And if you've read or seen the movie Ready Player One, I don't think we're there quite yet, but it is amazing how fast we are getting there. And finally, of course, customer service, one of the places where I live and breathe. And we're talking about a lot more than chatbots here. Chatbots have been around for a while, they have a place, but we are really talking about where is AI taking it next to completely change how we think of customer service. All right, let's get started then with personalization. And I'd like to start with a company that we all know and love, which is Netflix. Have you ever noticed how every time you log into Netflix, it feels like it's made just for you? That is no accident. Netflix has mastered the art of personalization, and it's actually a really fascinating journey. When you open Netflix, you're greeted with a plethora of options. But what many people don't realize is that every element of that screen is tailored to your unique tastes. It's not just the most popular titles, and it's not even just the because you watch section. It's every row and every recommendation. Netflix analyzes your viewing habits in unbelievable detail. Now, one of the coolest things that they do is customize the artwork for each show or movie based on your interests. For example, if you love romantic comedies, the thumbnail for a movie might feature a romantic scene to grab your attention. But if you're more into action, that same movie might be represented with a different thumbnail that's more of an action-packed shot. They even consider the time of day when making recommendations. If you're watching late at night, they might suggest shorter content because they know you're probably winding down for bed. This kind of attention to detail makes the experience feel incredibly personal. Now, Netflix is also constantly learning and improving. They use A/B testing to compare different recommendations and layouts to see which ones you engage with more. This continuous learning process makes their algorithms smarter and more effective over time. So, what do you think this means for Netflix's business? What percentage of content viewed on Netflix do you think comes from its recommendation engine? Now, you might want to think about this question yourself when you log on to Netflix. Are you immediately going to the recommendations that it offers, or do you log in knowing exactly what you want to watch? But what do you think overall of all of the hours and hours of content? Millions, billions of hours. What percentage viewed comes from its recommendation engine? 80%. 80% of content viewed on Netflix comes from its recommendation engines, which saves Netflix about $1 billion a year through customer retention. Because after all, if you logged in and you didn't have anything to watch, you might not stay. Now, this is a perfect example of how powerful and profitable personalization can be when it's done right. Let's jump over to Spotify, which of course has revolutionized the music industry through AI-powered personalization that creates a tailored listening experience for every customer. Now, this approach has helped Spotify achieve 150% more market share than Apple Music, which is its closest competitor. And listeners are engaging with Spotify 61 times per month compared to Apple Music's 12 times. In 2024, Spotify elevated personalization even further by introducing AI Playlist, a feature that allows premium users to create customized playlists using natural language prompts. Users can type something like high energy electropop that takes me to another world, or workout music to make my ex jealous. And Spotify's AI generates a personalized playlist based on their listening history and preferences. The technology behind this personalization is incredibly sophisticated. Spotify creates a unique profile for each user by analyzing listening history, skipped songs, saved tracks, and preferred genres. It then uses filtering processes to compare user choices to those with similar tastes and employs natural language processing to contextualize the data within each song choice. Really unbelievable stuff. All right, let's jump now to predictive analytics and another brand that is one of my all-time favorites, which is Starbucks. Now, Starbucks uses predictive analytics not just to personalize experiences, but to drive operational efficiency and strategic decision making. Starbucks collects over 100 million transactions a week across stores worldwide. This immense data collection fuels their predictive analytics engine, providing critical insights that enhance various aspects of their operations. Now, one key area where Starbucks leverages predictive analytics is in demand forecasting. By analyzing historical sales data, seasonality patterns, and external factors like weather or holidays, Starbucks can predict future demand for specific products. For example, during a heat wave in Memphis, they launched a local Frappuccino promotion to entice people to beat the heat. This kind of forecasting ensures that they have the right products in stock at the right times, minimizing waste and maximizing customer satisfaction. Predictive analytics also plays a crucial role in optimizing staffing levels. By examining foot traffic data, sales patterns, and other variables such as store location and time of day, Starbucks can accurately forecast customer traffic and allocate the appropriate number of employees during shifts. This prevents both overstaffing and understaffing, ensuring an efficient customer service experience at all times. Another application is in maintaining product quality and operational efficiency. Starbucks uses predictive analytics to monitor equipment performance and predict when maintenance is needed before a breakdown occurs. By analyzing data from customer feedback and equipment sensors, they can proactively address potential issues, ensuring consistent product quality and seamless customer experiences. Choosing a new store location is another strategic use of predictive analytics at Starbucks. Using tools like Atlas, a business intelligence platform, Starbucks evaluates demographic data, traffic patterns, and competitive landscapes to identify the most promising locations for new stores. This data-driven approach helps them expand strategically and optimize existing store performance. Now, predictive analytics empowers Starbucks to make informed, data-driven decisions that enhance both customer experience and operational efficiency. From predicting demand and optimizing staffing to maintaining quality and choosing strategic locations, these insights help Starbucks stay ahead on the competitive marketplace. Which brings us to our friends at Sephora, a global leader in the beauty industry. It has distinguished itself through a comprehensive data-driven strategy that collects information from multiple sources. Their predictive analytics engine processes data from user browsing behavior, from purchase history, loyalty program participation, in-store interactions, and even beauty profile quizzes to create a holistic view of each customer. Through AI, Sephora analyzes this rich trove of customer data to offer highly personalized product recommendations, increasing the relevance of the shopping experience and boosting both satisfaction and loyalty. The company's predictive analytics creates tailored customer experience strategies that anticipate preferences, provide appropriate tools, and address common beauty concerns before they arrive. Their Beauty Insider program not only rewards customers, but serves as a critical data collection tool, enabling personalized rewards, targeted marketing, and exclusive product access based on individual customer profiles. Sephora continues to evolve its AI strategy by integrating real-time recommendation engines within store technology, creating a seamless omni-channel experience where digital insights influence physical store interactions and vice versa. This approach has maintained Sephora's position as the #1 beauty retailer globally while creating a competitive advantage that's difficult for competitors to replicate. I should know, since we're talking about all this personalization, I was not logged in when I captured this screenshot. You can probably tell why. It's evidenced by the giant headline advertising hair deals. Yeah, not for me exactly. All right, let's move on to virtual reality. And again, if you've ever seen the movie or read the book Ready Player One, we are headed there. We're not there yet, but we are headed there. And if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, highly recommend it. Loved the book. Of course, the book was better than the movie, always is. This will give you a sense for what's coming. But let's look at what's here today. I want to dive into how Benjamin Moore is revolutionizing the paint selection process with virtual reality. Now, imagine you want to repaint your living room, but you're unsure which color to choose. Traditionally, you'd pick up a bunch of paint swatches and try to visualize how they look on your walls. Benjamin Moore has transformed this experience with their Color Portfolio app and Color Reader device. With the Color Portfolio app, you can use augmented reality to try on different paint colors in real time. Simply point your phone's camera at your wall, and the app will display how various shades look in your actual space. This technology allows you to see your room in a new color without lifting a paintbrush, making the decision process much easier and more accurate. The color reader device takes this a step further by enabling users to match colors from any surface. Imagine seeing a color you love in a magazine or on a piece of fabric. Just place the color reader on the surface and it will match the color to the closest Benjamin Moore shade, which you can then preview in your space using the app. These tools not only enhance the customer experience by reducing the guesswork, but also provide significant business value. By simplifying the color selection process and giving customers confidence in their choices, Benjamin Moore reduces returns and increases customer satisfaction and loyalty. It's a win-win for both the consumer and the business. To put this into perspective, Benjamin Moore has seen an increase in customer engagement and a reduction in the time it takes for customers to make a purchase decision, driving both higher sales and improving overall customer satisfaction. You're probably also familiar with Zillow, a leading online real estate marketplace. They've been a key player in incorporating VR technology into the platform. Through its Zillow 3D Home Tour feature, the company enables real estate agents and homeowners to create their own 360-degree virtual tours. This tool is highly accessible and affordable, making it a game changer for agents looking to attract more buyers, especially in competitive markets. Zillow reports that properties listed with 3D tours receive 48% more interest from buyers and typically close deals faster than those without virtual tours. According to recent data, 67% of home buyers prefer virtual tours when browsing listings. Homes with virtual tours receive 87% more views than those without, and homes marketed with virtual tours sell for an average of 9% more and close 31% faster than those that rely on traditional photos or videos alone. Now, even more sophisticated VR technology enabled Lowe's to create an in-store VR experience where customers can virtually practice DIY projects like tiling a bathroom or installing a faucet. It reduces fear and uncertainty by teaching customers how to complete complex tasks in a risk-free environment. Okay, we are now at customer service. And again, I promised you a lot more than chatbots here. Listen, chatbots are great. They're here to stay. They are great for answering fairly basic questions. I like to say things that you could Google anyway. The one thing with chatbot, the one piece of advice I want to give you is that it must be set up to bring in a human being when it gets stuck. There is nothing more frustrating than getting the runaround from a chatbot that is unable to solve your problem. So as long as we can teach it to understand, hey, this is beyond my capabilities, it's time to bring in my human friend, then I think customers are going to be willing to use it. What they're not willing to do, though, is have to suffer through endless menu items, basically like we just changed the phone experience, press 1, press 2, etc., to a digital experience. We definitely don't want that. So let's start with our friends at American Express. You heard earlier that I used to work for Discover Card. Amex was one of our biggest competitors, but I always looked up to them because they have always been customer experience leaders. Now, they leverage advanced AI to enhance customer service operations, delivering a seamless experience for both agents and for customers. One standout feature is a real-time transcription of calls, which enables instant sentiment analysis. If the AI detects frustration or dissatisfaction, it can prompt the agent to respond with greater empathy or escalate the call, improving outcomes in the moment. The AI also performs keyword spotting to surface relevant information from FAQs and internal systems. This reduces the time agents spend searching for answers and helps resolve issues more quickly and accurately. In some cases, it can even suggest next best actions or pull up relevant tools, such as a travel booking option, based on live conversational cues. Seamless integration with Amex's CRM and backend systems gives the AI full access to account details, transactions, and case histories, empowering agents to provide highly informed support without toggling between systems. This tight integration boosts speed, accuracy, and customer satisfaction. After the call, the AI continues to work behind the scenes, transcribing and analyzing conversations for compliance, summarizing interactions, and generating insights for supervisors. Through this end-to-end support, American Express enhances service quality, speeds up resolution times, and ensures consistent experiences at scale. Now, another bank, Capital One, has implemented Eno, an AI-powered virtual assistant that provides customers with real-time account information, transaction alerts, and proactive fraud monitoring. Eno can notify users of unusual charges, duplicate transactions, or potential subscription price hikes, allowing customers to address issues promptly. This proactive service enhances customer trust and satisfaction by ensuring transparency and security in financial transactions. And just a little hint, we're going to talk a little bit more about transparency in a bit. So there you have it. Those are the 4 big factors that I see of AI impacting customer experience today. There's personalization, predictive analytics, virtual reality, and customer service. Which of these 4 do you think is the most critical for your business right now? What are you going to work on next when you get off of this webinar and go back to work? Are you going to think about personalization like Netflix did or Spotify? Are you going to look at predictive analytics like Starbucks or Sephora? How about playing around with virtual reality like Benjamin Moore or Zillow? Or perhaps you're going to focus on customer service like Amex or Capital One. Obviously, you need to do all of these at some point. But what I'm interested in is what are you going to do next? And this is really important because we can't do everything all at once. And one of the things about AI is it's changing so fast that we just have to be able to do what we can in the moment and keep growing along with the technology. Now, before we work on any of them, though, one of the things that we need to be aware of as experience makers is how customers feel about this. Are they ready for all of this AI? Why don't we take a look? Recent surveys provide some revealing insights. First, there's a clear preference for human interaction. A study by SurveyMonkey found that 90% of Americans prefer human customer service agents over AI. The main reasons are that humans offer better understanding, comprehensive explanations, and reduce frustration levels. Now, in contrast, only 8% of respondents preferred AI for its availability, speed, and accuracy. However, awareness and expectations around AI are growing. According to the World Economic Forum, 60% of adults worldwide expect AI to profoundly change their daily lives in the next 3 to 5 years. Yet there's a notable split in sentiment. Only 52% believe AI products and services have more benefits than drawbacks, and just half trust companies using AI as much as other companies. Interestingly, younger generations are more accepting of AI. They are more confident in recognizing when they're interacting with AI, and they're more open to using AI for personalized deals and navigation on websites. So, given all of that, what should companies do about these mixed feelings and ensure that AI enhances the customer experience without actually alienating the customers? I mentioned before that experience makers are always focused on the customer impact of business decisions. So shockingly, my answer is continue focusing on the customers. Here are some strategies. The first is ensuring a seamless human AI collaboration. I suggest implementing a hybrid model where AI handles routine tasks and transitions the complex inquiries to human agents. This approach addresses the efficiency angle while also maintaining the personalized human service. We also want to focus on data privacy and transparency. There's that word, transparency, again. Clearly communicate how customer data is used and protected. obtain explicit consent, and emphasize data protection measures to build trust and alleviate privacy concerns. Folks, if we don't have trust with our customers, if they don't have trust with us, it's going to be tough for them to continue doing business with us. Third is to invest in AI training and quality control. Continuously train your AI systems with diverse data sets to minimize biases. Regularly audit AI algorithms to ensure they provide accurate and fair responses. And fourth, as with anything customer experience related, encourage feedback and iterative improvement. Actively seek customer feedback on AI interactions and use this data to refine your systems. Showing customers that their input directly influences AI improvements can increase acceptance and continue to build trust. By understanding customer attitudes and addressing these challenges proactively, companies can harness the full potential of AI to create exceptional customer experiences while mitigating the risks. One more thing that I wanted to share with you today. I am not a futurist. I cannot predict the future, but I did want to share some suggestions for things that I think are probably coming next. This is not going to be like completely mind-blowing. This is really taking available data, available technology, and drawing a line to say, all right, where do we think we're going with this? As AI matures, its role in customer experience, of course, is going to continue to evolve. Here are 4 areas that I think require some watching from our part. Number 1 is co-creation. From product design to personalized content, brands are inviting customers to co-create using generative AI. For example, Coca-Cola's Create Real Magic lets fans generate branded art with AI. Next is emotional intelligence. AI is learning to read tone, sentiment, and even facial expressions, adapting responses in real time to mirror human empathy. For example, Hume.ai and Cognigy are building AI that understands not just what you say, but how you feel. Next is autonomous journeys. AI will begin managing complete customer journeys from product discovery to purchase to post-sale with minimal human involvement. Amazon already has the walkout technology that manages checkout, inventory, and payment without having a cashier present. Now, I do want to warn you, as I mentioned before, I'm not sure that customers are ready for this. And so we need to evolve at the speed that they are willing to participate. And I'm not sure that we're quite ready to be AI only. So keep that in mind as you build. And finally, physical spaces. Smart stores, smart hotels, and even smart events are integrating AI to personalize in-person experiences. For example, Caesar's Palace uses AI to personalize casino comps and hotel room upgrades based on real-time behavior. So the future of AI in customer experience is full of exciting possibilities. As we look ahead, it's crucial to remain open-minded and embrace the potential of AI to create more meaningful, personalized, and accessible experiences for all of our customers. The key, though, is balance, ensuring that as we push the boundaries of what's possible, we do so in a way that benefits everyone. And that, my friends, is what an experience maker does. So I don't want you to be afraid of this technology. It is moving so quickly that everything we talked about today, in 6 months, we might have a completely different conversation. But it's okay. Climb aboard. It's going to be a fun ride. As long as we keep our customers in focus, and as long as we make good business decisions that are customer focused, we are going to do okay. Because every company that I have worked with that puts their customer in the center makes better business decisions. And by that, more profitable business decisions that spur both growth in terms of sales and revenue, and also cut costs in terms of reduced customer service expenses.
Au revoir. Adios. Ciao.
All right, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Again, my name is Dan Gingiss, the Experience Maker. Before we go to the Q&A, which will be in just one moment, I wanted to leave you with a special parting gift. I have put together the top secrets for using AI to crush your CX, not just improve your CX, crush it. Now, this is a completely free guide. I am not selling you anything. I just want you to get some additional value for signing up for today's webinar from Amplify. It is my top secrets for using AI to crush your CX. So how do I get this guide, Dan? I would like you to please take a 90-second survey by scanning the QR code or by using the website there and the code there. And I want to ask you about this presentation that you just heard. I want your feedback, and so does Amplify. I promise you, I read every response. I take it into consideration because I want to continue to get better at what I do. I also like to practice what I preach because I suggest always to my audiences and my clients that you talk to your customers and get a sense for how they're feeling and use that feedback. So if you go and complete the survey, right at the end of it, there will be a button to download your free guide. Don't forget to hit that last button to get the guide. You'll be able to download it, PDF. You can email it to yourself. Feel free to share it with others. It is my gift to you. So again, thank you so much for being here. My name's Dan Gingiss, the Experience Maker, and I'm going to send it back to my friends at Amplify for our Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much. That was cool seeing some of the history of AI and then specifically applying it to customer success, customer service use cases, both in person and virtually. Let's get to some of the questions. Go ahead and keep chatting those in, and we'll go ahead and address them. The first one, a bit lengthy, going back to the beginning part, so I'll summarize here to your Netflix adaptation. On most days, they're looking for the recommendations, but do wish they could kick the AI out a little bit to explore beyond their AI algorithm. Considering such an edge case, what should CX professionals do to understand these behaviors to help elevate the customer journey in a more personable and meaningful way?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'm not sure that's an edge case, actually. That's why I said before that we have to make sure that our customers are ready for all of this. I haven't done research on this, but I've certainly read reports. And I would say from talking to people, I don't think consumers are ready for 100% AI engagements right now. I just think that we are appreciating AI when it's helpful to us, when it speeds things up, when it adds to convenience. But we're not looking to eliminate the human element. And I agree. I think sometimes the AI and the recommendations make it harder to find something when you actually do know what you're looking for. Who enjoys typing in the name of a movie on your remote control? That is not a fun experience at all. And I think that's a totally fair point. So what do we do about it? We talk to our customers. We have focus groups. One of the things I used to love when I ran the website at Discover for 3 years is to do usability testing. This is where you put your website or your mobile app in front of consumers behind kind of a glass wall and you watch them interact with it. You ask them to do things. So the Netflix people might say, "Hey, Scott, try to find the movie Major League." And then you would go do that and they'd watch you do it and they'd watch where you hit a struggle point or where you get frustrated. And that's a really good sign that we've got to make that a little bit easier. So I would start to integrate this stuff in and then watch how your customers use it and adapt accordingly.
Yeah, very good point. On the AI facing, we talked a lot about the customer facing stuff, but in the Starbucks example, you talked about using that data that you're bringing in to look at your processes and when you're doing certain activities or when certain calls or inquiries come in and being able to address those in a more specific way. In your analytics boxes, maybe the predictive analytics could be the internal facing AI tool versus an AI agent, external customer facing tool. And you prove that data is the source of truth behind all of that, really. So on
Yeah.
the internal facing side for, say, a CS team, what are some of the internal use cases that people should look at when addressing ways to bring in AI to stay ahead of the game?
Yeah, if you're familiar with the term garbage in, garbage out, I believe that is true of AI. And then the reverse is true, is quality in equals quality out. And so the more that we can give AI to work with, the better answers we're going to get. Let me give you an example from my business in terms of how powerful this can be. If I go to ChatGPT and I say, "Hey, I'd like to build an online course about customer experience," then it's going to give me an online course. And it'll do a pretty good job. It's going to be really basic. It's going to be really generic. It's not going to sound like me. Anybody could deliver it. But if I upload my book and if I upload some transcripts of my various keynotes and blog posts that I've written, I give it a real rich sense of my voice and of my content and my IP. And I now give it a prompt that says, hey, I want to create a course based on Dan's IP that sounds like Dan and looks like something Dan would come up with. It's remarkable what comes back out. And as I was testing this, I started getting scripts for a course. And that's exactly how I would have said it. It almost read my mind and said it in a way that was pretty frightening because it was exactly the words I would have used. And just as an example, I'm a guy that doesn't use complex words. So when somebody says my book was an easy read, I appreciate that because it was intended to be an easy read. I didn't sit with a thesaurus trying to look smart for you. I tend to write the way that I talk. And so when ChatGPT spit this back out to me, that's what it sounded like. So it was great. Quality in is quality out. If you are running a call center, you've got more data than you know what to do with. You're up to your eyeballs in data. The question is, how much of it can we give to AI? And then what are the right questions that we can ask to get back from it, right? This is where the predictive analytics starts to come in, is that over time, we can start to figure out things like, I'm totally making this up. Calls that last more than 2 minutes tend to have a lower satisfaction score if the following three things don't happen, right? And then we say, okay, let's make sure the following three things do happen, and then we'll keep our high customer satisfaction score. It's incredible when you upload all of this data, how quickly AI can put it together, give you the themes, point out what's most common in terms of happening. I did a survey last year of 200 customer experience professionals, and I intentionally asked them open-ended questions because that's a little bit harder to analyze. So I asked two main questions. The first one was, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing when implementing customer experience initiatives? And the second was, what is the value to your business of implementing customer experience initiatives? Now, some people answered with a couple of words, some people answered with full sentences, some people gave me a couple of paragraphs in their response. If I had to read through 200 responses, there is no way that I'd be able to figure out the themes. But I uploaded into one of the generative AI programs and it immediately spit back, oh, here are the things that people said the most often. They're concerned about this, they're concerned about this, they're concerned about this. That's massively valuable for me in terms of creating content, in terms of creating products and services. And so we all can do this in our business depending on what data we have and our willingness to share that data in order to get the trend data back.
Yeah, that's great. And the example of how we see customers doing that from the Amplify perspective is using the auto QA function, which isn't just your calls being uploaded, it's your surveys that you're talking about, the chatbot AI conversations, the emails, your in-house systems or in-house survey tool, whatever it is, pulling all of that together finally, analyzing 50 to 100% of it instead of just 2% of it where you're doing it manually, and then understanding based on the outcomes of whatever you're doing, opening new accounts, upselling, cross-selling, reducing churn, resolving tickets, whatever it is, it can analyze the actions and words that are being said on the best outcomes with the fastest resolutions, and then programs coaching plans for the agents who need to work on specific things based on the successful outcomes of the top agents to bring it all together for that CX world. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's amazing. And I've been telling people if you can dream it, AI can do it. It's just a matter of dreaming it. I love what you said there about not just asking AI to analyze a call, because again, there's some subjectivity in that we don't really know. But if you compare that with a customer said this call was a 10 and this call was a 2, now we can teach the AI what a 10 looks like and what a 2 looks like and why, or it'll figure out why. And then it has a better chance of evaluating the call because it knows what good calls look like and what bad calls look like. And it's now objective instead of subjective. And that's where I think the real value comes out. Because frankly, we don't really care what AI thinks of our call. We care what our customers think of the call. And so as AI gets that information as well, it just sucks it all in and gives you a much better answer.
I'll get your commentary on this piece of it to close it out. The opening keynote session, we had business leaders, technology advisors who are agnostic to technology, and then two providers of AI software for CX. And all of them said start with the challenge and goal that you're trying to accomplish. Here's the
Mhm.
challenge, here's the outcome we want, and then build backwards a solution that you're trying to solve the problem with. The more detailed you are and the more prescriptive you are in that plan, the more successful you're going to be in growing the capabilities of your customer experience without AI. When it is in regard to AI and all what's available out there from a more generalist perspective, would you agree with that? What would you add to that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Jeff Bezos is famous for this, right? He is known that in Amazon, whenever they come up with a new idea, the first thing they do is they write the press release about it. Before anybody's put a single code down, they write the press release because they want to
Nice.
understand what is the outcome we are trying to get to. And so I think that makes total sense. Because if you think about it, if you flip it around, then all you're going to end up doing is chasing shiny objects. And there are new
Yeah.
shiny objects every single day, right? I created an AI avatar of myself. Why? Because it was fun, not because it has any business value to me, right? So you can start to go down these rabbit holes all day long. It comes back to understanding what your customers need, understanding how to improve their experience, and then in seeing that goal, I think in the distance is absolutely right. And then working backwards. I think that's a way to approach any business problem, but especially as this technology is moving so fast, it is way too easy to get caught in the coolest new little trick that some software company is offering that in a week ChatGPT will have. I read an article recently that was looking at actually, it was in Entrepreneur Magazine. It had, I think, the top 50 AI software for small businesses. And it went through all of them. And then it had, after those 50, it had another article that basically said, can I just use ChatGPT instead for all of these things? And the answer was essentially yes, you can, because all of these technologies, the generative AI programs can do them. Now, obviously, it's a lot easier when we can buy something in a box that already has a specific ability to do something and to help us do something. But my point in saying it is that you can get presented every day with something new that AI can do, and it's going to seem sparkly and cool, and you're going to be like, wow, I really need this. But the question is, do your customers need it? And is it going to improve their experience? Or is it just another shiny object for both you and for them, which to me turns out to be a time waster?
Yeah, and picking a solution where that company has tailored a Gen AI platform to accomplish a specific goal, maybe even in your specific industry, starting with that goal will give you a much smaller scope of what you actually need to accomplish the outcome that you're going for, which is why there are so many vendors. And you don't have to look at the full list when you start with the press release, as you say, which I think is fantastic. I actually didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
So we'll end there with that as good closing words. Again, the recording and the deck and the questionnaire to get the workbook will be available on the landing page that we'll email to everyone once that's all ready in the next several days. And thank you so much, Dan, for joining our AI for CX Summit. And we hope to see you again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good week. Bye bye.